Hai, selamat pagi. Selamat pagi buat teman-teman dari Yes Education Agent Partner. Pagi ini kita kembali lagi untuk belajar, untuk sedikit kita tambah-tambah ilmu untuk studi New Zealand. Saat ini di sini ada teman saya Ray dari UniTec. Okay, I will start the station. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. Today is quite useful. We'll be sharing some practical session to do application and to do well-known product knowledge about UniTech. Quick, before we start, I want to introduce about our program FAMTrip to New Zealand because this is a New Zealand institution. So I want to remind all of you guys that we have 15 points for every student enrollment for the higher education, like for bachelor, for master, for get the points to FAMTrip New Zealand. For further information, please call our RMM. Di sini ada Mas Farid, di sini ada saya sendiri dan juga ada Franklin dan juga ada teman-teman yang lain. Bisa ditanyakan bagaimana syarat dan ketentuannya. Tahun depan kita akan ke New Zealand. Alright, without taking too much time, Ray, I will pass it over to our speaker today, who will walk us through everything. Okay, Ray,
Thank you
over
so
to you.
much. Thank you so much for the warm introductions and good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. As mentioned, I'm Ray. I'm the International Market Manager for Southeast Asia, Taiwan, and Japan at UniTech. I'm also a New Zealand licensed immigration advisor, so I'm happy to provide general guidance or questions that you may have about New Zealand visas and immigration pathways. So very happy to cover a bit of that as well today. If that's something that some of you are keen on learning about. And just to better introduce UniTech, I'll start by sharing first a short video. I think the audio might not be working, but I think the subtitles is there as well, so it should be fine. Yeah. So that is our main campus, Mount Albert. Okay, so that is just a glimpse of UNITEC. So as you notice, so we are an Institute of Technology. In fact, we are New Zealand's largest public institute of technology based in Auckland. So what really differentiates us as well is we have small class sizes. Normally just 15 to 25 students per class. I also studied an ITP myself, and that's something I really appreciated because it's a bit easier to catch up with the classes and really get to know your professors. And the advantage as well is professors usually someone who's been in the industry for more than 10, 15, 20 years. So they also get to share their knowledge and the network that they have. I myself am an example of that because I only got to found my supervisor through an opportunity given to me because of my supervisor. So that's something I think that Institute of Technologies with small class sizes have an advantage in New Zealand. And even when they know some job openings and job opportunities, they normally share that as well with their class. So they really look for opportunities for their students to really be more involved or have a project within the program itself. So I think that's something that it's really a bit underrated when it comes to Institute of Technologies. And we are located in Oakland. Since we are already one entity with Manukau Institute of Technology, we're pretty much really the largest institute of technology and one of the uh, most diverse in terms of offering programs. Um, we do have from certificates up until doctoral degrees as well at UniTec. Okay. And this is just a bird's eye view of the campus, and this is something that I also like to highlight as one of our differentiators. Because normally, when you compare institutions, facilities, and campuses, I think we are really up there with some of the best facilities available, especially considering that we are located in Oakland. They still get that real campus feeling, really green environment, and more hands, lots of hands-on experience being done even while they are still in at the institution. We're quite proud of the facilities that we have, and I think many students that graduated from us are also quite proud of that as well. Um, so this is just our main campus at Mount Albert. We also have another campus at Whitechapel campus. So that one is where we deliver our healthcare and community studies programs or social worker programs. It's about 10 kilometers away from Mount Albert, but there is a free shuttle for students every 20, 40 minutes going back and forth these two campuses. So it's very accessible. And it's the reason why it's a bit further away. It's because it's strategically located near hospitals where many of our nursing students do their clinical placements. So we do have thousands of hours for our students for the clinical placements for our healthcare program, which is really good as well. Um, and that's another bird's eye view of where we are located within Auckland. So as you can see, we are just 10 minutes away from the central business district of Auckland, and I really like this bird's eye view because normally when students picture New Zealand, they're often picturing the rural side of New Zealand. So if your student is keen on having or living in a big city, Auckland is the biggest. We out of that of New Zealand's more than a 5 million population, almost 2 million are living in Auckland. So it's really where many of the opportunities are. At the same time, UniTec has been well known in Auckland for quite some time, so we are also very well recognized by many employers as well. And transportation is quite accessible. Just 7 minutes walk outside of the campus, you'll already have Mount Albert Station, which can help you easily go to downtown. And there's also bus stops just at the exits of our campus, making it really accessible for the students to travel around Auckland as well. We even have a virtual tour available in case your students really wants the campus. I'll share this presentation with the Yes Education team so that you can have access to that as well. And as mentioned, since we are Institute of Technology, we focus more on the hands-on practical learning side of things. So we make sure that graduates are globally competitive. And I think this is very important right now because looking at the immigration pathways in New Zealand, in case your student wants to stay in New Zealand after their studies, all of it is tied to an offer of employment. And I think that's where our industry connections and shine really for the students because they really get work experience even while they are still in school. Hands-on learning experience as well. Many of our programs have placements, um, practicums, internships, or even a work integrated project with the industry. So it's really employer driven, which really ties up really well with the current immigration setting in New Zealand, where all of the skills based pathways are tied to an offer of employment. And I think that's where we really shine across our different programs, especially given the connections that we have across Auckland. And many of our programs and qualification are also recognized not only by the different employers but also the different accrediting bodies across New Zealand and many professions that require registration by law. We are also able to facilitate those programs. Example of this would be if your students wants to become architect or registered architects, teachers, or social workers or nurse in New Zealand. So we have the different degrees and master's degrees so that they can enter those qualifications and many other qualifications with professional bodies recognizing them, like in Chartered Accountants Australia and New Zealand. So our Masters of Professional Accounting is recognized. Our engineering programs are recognized by Engineering New Zealand. We offer Sydney Accord degrees, which meets the requirement as well for the green list in case they want to become engineering technicians. And of course, they can also progress later on into professional engineers as well. And of course, veterinary nursing, some of the this is one of the new qualifications that's recognized in the new pathways as well for residents in New Zealand. So we're expecting that program to be quite popular as well to our students, incoming international students. Just briefly showing the different fields of study that we have. So we're very diverse in terms of our offerings, a little bit of something for everyone, as long as they have already finished their primary and secondary schooling. We offer qualifications from level 3 up until level 10. So that's certificates up until doctoral degrees. So that really shows how very holistic our approach is, and many of our departments even get to collaborate. And I think that's what also makes our program shine a bit better because we are able to make that internal collaborations within our own community and programs because we have all of the facilities that deliver all of these programs as well. And as you can imagine, there's a lot of collaborations happening, especially with the facilities that we have for construction, skilled trades, and also our architecture and design buildings that are all just in one area of UniTec. So lots of collaborations happening there for our students. So I'll go through some of the programs, but for Indonesia, we currently accept SME3 with 60% average in four relevant subjects. So that depends on the qualification that they are looking to enter. Um, Aside from that, we also usually accept students that has at least 1 year of tertiary education in Indonesia. Some programs might have a higher qualification, but that's usually the minimum entry requirements that we look for. And as you can notice here, highlighted in green are the programs already linked to an occupation on the green list. So it's a bit easier for you to identify in case your students are looking for windless qualifications. So we have our construction project management and also our quantity surveying and also our New Zealand diploma in engineering civil so that they are eligible for 2 years post-study work visas. The rest of the programs, it was announced by Immigration New Zealand, I think last month, that they will be returning the post-study work visa for level 5 to level 7 diplomas, which is good news as well. This will give students a short-term graduate work visa up to 6 months. So it gives them time to look for a job or transition to a work visa um, as well if they are not yet eligible for residence. So we have fields in business, IT, cybersecurity, surveying, also architecture technology. We also have interior design as well under our architecture programs. But of course, we these programs can also progress to bachelor's degree, usually just having one additional semester if they want to do cross credits and upgrade their qualification to the bachelor's degree. We just require a higher entry requirement for our bachelor's. We normally look for SME3 average pass in four relevant subjects of 75%. Of course, alternatively, we can also consider at least 1 year of tertiary study, or they can do our foundations in New Zealand Certificate in Study and Career Preparation as well, especially in some programs that usually have higher entry requirements, like nursing, engineering. It's recommended to do that pathway as well. And you can see here lots of programs and lots of specializations to choose from. But those highlighted in green, again, are those that are on the green list. And the advantage with bachelor's degrees that are listed as a requirement on the green list is that it's also eligible to support a partner on a working visa. So if you have students with partners, they can work full time as long as the principal applicant is taking any of the programs highlighted in green. So I think that's a really good value add for the bachelor's degree. At the same time, bachelor's, aside from the green list pathway, the incoming update this August for the skilled migrant category already gives 5 points for the bachelor's degree and New Zealand bachelor's degree. And what that means is what they only need to become eligible for residence under SMC is 1 year of skilled work experience in New Zealand and a valid offer of employment or a valid job paying them at the median wage, which is currently 35 New Zealand dollars. It's very clear and very straightforward. I think New Zealand has one of the most clear pathways to residence. Not easy, but very clear on how they will become eligible for residence. It's mostly towards, it's very employer driven and making sure that they meet the necessary wages to become eligible for the residence pathway that they are going to be taking. And I think where we shine as well is that we offer a wide range of programs. So it's very easy to offer something to students with wide range of backgrounds from business, architecture, construction, engineering, design, teaching, nursing, social worker, or automotive. We have the different programs for students for that. And at the same time, we're also one of the few institutions as well, Institute of Technologies with several master's degrees offerings. I think we have one of the highest, we have one of the most offerings for master's degrees or postgraduate level of study. And many of our programs also have either work integrated learning as a component or internship or like our accounting. We have a 50-hour work-based internship. Some programs would have an industry related project as well as part of the program. So it ties in very well with giving students work experience while they are still studying. So we have our Masters in Applied Business, which has 5 specializations. We have digital marketing, analytics, leadership, logistics and supply chain, and advanced HR. So pretty much almost any fields of business that student will have a specialization that will usually suit their background and of course our computing or Masters of Applied Technology as well for perfect for IT graduate IT students. We have cybersecurity and networking, software development, and data analytics and intelligence. And I think the unique thing about this program is students get to propose what type of project they want to do. Right now, about 85% of the projects are AI solutions driven. So it's a good way to make sure that the program is keeping up with the times and it's not outdated. So even now, many of the since AI is really pretty much the trend right now, many of the students that we have taking this program have a project related to AI as well. So it's a good offering for that. Masters of Creative Practice, pretty much any creative practice that you could imagine can be taken under this program. Our professors would normally look at what specialization they want, but whether it's graphic design, film, arts, or even theater, or if they want to become an actor, dancer, or photographer, so any creative profession that you can think of, UniTech has one of the best facilities for creative practice. In fact, many of the domestic students don't even want to finish the program because they want to have access to all of the facilities. So some of the domestic students, they often just take one subjects at a time just because of how good Unitech's facilities are in terms of our creative industries. Architecture, we have 3 specializations. So we're one of I think we're one of the top providers of architecture programs across New Zealand. And we also have the Master of Architecture Professional, which leads to the registration as well for them to becoming professional architects in New Zealand. Applied practice, social practice does not lead to registration, but it's more of a research-driven program. It's open for any backgrounds as long as they have a social issue that they want to solve. So it's a perfect program to do applied research on that. And our newest master's is our applied science in biodiversity management, which is more towards ecology. Students get to travel around New Zealand and document the living organisms, whether it's insects, plants, or other organisms in the area. So that's the ideal program for that. And of course, one of our most famous master's degrees, our Masters of Professional. accounting, which can also lead to CPA registration, which is recognized across Australia and New Zealand. Okay, now moving on to the English proficiency requirements. We normally just accept the same ones that NZQA requires. So this is a table from NZQA, which is a nice guideline. Most programs would accept IELTS, TOEFL, Cambridge, OET, and NDCL. We offer that program. We also have PTE, Language Cert, and Trinity ISC. Just take note, some programs like nursing, social worker have only accepts a fewer English tests, but most of the programs will normally accept all of these different qualifications as well. Okay. But in case your student does not meet the English proficiency requirement, we offer New Zealand certificate in English language. So student can study for 16 weeks of English. For example, they can complete our NZCL level 5. Entry requirement is IELTS 6.0 or no band below 5.5 or our free placement test. And then after that program, they pretty much have an IELTS equivalent of 6.5 across all bands. So they can study all of our master's degrees and most of our bachelor's degrees. Only the only program that they cannot take with this is the early child education program because that requires 7.0 across all bands. And we have the other corresponding levels as well available depending on the level of English of the student. So we have from level 3 to level 5. So this is the free online test. You're free to take it as well or share it to your student in case they want to try taking our free online test. It's mostly just to enter the English program. So it does not serve as an alternative to IELTS. It's only a free online test if they want to take our English program to meet the English requirement of the other mainstream programs later on. And these are normally the scores that we require. Just take note, after that online test, they also have to do an online Zoom or Teams interview with written exam. So that's how we verify the results of the student and which level they will really place in. Okay, study grants we do offer for Indonesian students or Southeast Asian grant including Indonesian students up to 2,500 New Zealand dollars. Our master's degree we normally give 2,500, while our diplomas and degrees we normally give 2,000, except for the Bachelor of Nursing. That's a program that's not eligible for this grant, and even the foundations it's eligible for 1,000 New Zealand dollars. And important thing. So let's first look at the right. So you can see we have well essentially two main semesters, February and July. So that's our semester 1 and semester 2. Most of the programs are offered in these two intakes. And then for September, we only have the New Zealand Certificate of English Level 4. And for October, we only have the Masters of Applied Business. But if you take it in October, that's normally the break. The Masters of Applied Business can be completed in just 13 months. Okay, so very short if you do it in October, 13 months. You study in October, you graduate November the following year, essentially, for our Masters of Applied Business. Because if you look at the left, you will notice that across our programs, we have a lot of breaks. In between semesters, we have about 2 weeks breaks. There's a break as well before transitioning to the next semester, and then another 2 weeks break in between semester two. And the longest break would be from late October or early November up until February the following semester. So your students can work full time during that duration. As long as it's a scheduled break, we normally include it in our offer letter. They can work full time. Okay. In terms of accommodation, plenty of options. If they're coming with family, they normally go for the flatting option. Homestay is also available. Different homestay might have meals included as well as part of the package. But we also have a partnership with the Student Residential Village, which is Campus Waterview. That's the map going to the campus. So it's very close. It's only about 600, 700 meters before they get to the campus. You just have to cross a bridge, and it's nicely located just in between Oakley Creek and the waterfall. That's part of the, it's just beside of the campus. And then when you cross it, you're pretty much already at UniTec. And as you can see on the left, lots of residential options as well. Even on the other side of the build of the campus, there's a lot of residential options as well available. So plenty of accommodation options for the students. Even now, when I check out campus, Waterview, there's still a lot of slots available. The student residential village is only for students. We have 3 to 5 bedroom options, and it's often shared. So they have shared kitchen and shared amenities, but it's a good way for the student to have a little social group already right away when they arrive. Um, so they can choose from 3 to 5 bedrooms, and they can usually, some students like to coordinate when it comes to doing their groceries so that it's a bit easier and they save a little bit more money as well. Okay, in terms of post-study work visa, this is just a summary of the policy we have in place and the incoming policy we will have. It was announced later this year that as long as they study for at least 24 weeks, they can become eligible for the short-term graduate work visa, which is up to 6 months for level 5 to 7 non-degree, non-green list qualifications. But of course, non-degree level 7 or lower, that's on the green list, they normally get the same duration as to their matching their study duration. And then, of course, bachelor's and the other qualification, study for 1 year, you get 1 year post study, 2 years, you get 2 years, 3 years, you get 3 years as well. Except for the master's degree, you get, even if you study as short as 1 year, you get the full 3 years of post study work visa. And the advantage, again, with New Zealand right now is the post study work visa gives them 3 years of post study work permit. It's open work permit, they can work for any employer, and a New Zealand master's degree gives them 6 points already under the skilled migrant category. So with 6 points and a master's degree, all they need to become eligible for residence is to find an accredited employer that will give them a job offer paying them at least the median wage for a skill level 1 to 3 rule. So that's usually 35 New Zealand dollars an hour. And of course, meet the general health, character, and English requirements, and they and their family could be eligible already for residents. So they can also include their partner and their dependents. So it's a very clear path towards residency in New Zealand. And of course, we're one of the few institutions in New Zealand. I think right now it's only the 8 universities and 2 institutes of technology eligible for the New Zealand Manaki Scholarship, which is the government-funded scholarship. Unfortunately, it only closed 10 days ago. But of course, if you have students that want to prepare for the following year, we're very happy to consider them as well for the Manaki New Zealand scholarship. So our postgraduate level of studies are eligible for that, and also our doctors in computing is also eligible for this program. Okay. So that's pretty much it. I'm also sharing our prospectus in case you want to scan the full brochure. So this QR code, it leads to our prospectus. It's an online copy and about 80, 84, 86 pages. It's going to be easier for you to read through all of our programs and qualification. And I think at around page 79 or 80, you will have our list, a full list of programs available there as well, so it's easier for you to browse all of our programs and qualifications available to international students. And indicative fees are also there as well. So it's also easy to see all of that. And we're expecting to open our February intake very soon. We're expecting it within this month. We're just waiting for the exact dates, but we will be sure to announce that as well. Okay, for now, we're open for July and October. So that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for joining. I'm happy to answer as well some questions that you guys would have. Back to the Yes Education team first.
Hi Ray, thank you. Thank you for the presentations. I got a one question. Is it possible for the bachelor from Indonesia, if this is already got the bachelor program, and then they want to do the diploma at UniTec? What about the visa risk and the downgrade case?
Mm, right, right. It is possible, but normally you have to justify why do you want to take the diploma. New Zealand is not as strict as Australia when it comes to this. Only thing is you have to make sure it still aligns and understandable why they want to take the diploma program. But yeah, it's not impossible. Normally, I see some students doing this if they are taking a different field, just so that they can broaden their scope, rather than taking something that would be redundant that's already covered by their existing bachelor's degree. But that's still possible. Yeah.
Another one, do you still can accept student if she or he got visa refusal from another country?
Yes, we can still accept them. Of course, of course, when you apply for a new visa, however, you have to just make sure as well, of course, that you can justify it with Immigration New Zealand as well.
Related to the visa arrangement, Ray,
Mhm.
do you have any age requirement, minimum or maximum to take the courses in UniTech?
None at the moment. I think the oldest that I've gotten, that I've also seen myself, was 49 years old. But take note that the residence pathways are up until 55 years old at New Zealand.
55,
Yes, the residence pathways,
the
but
residence
not,
pathway.
but study that generally doesn't have any limits. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
How about the minimum age? Do you accept under like
For our programs, we accept, usually we look for at least 16 years old.
16?
16
Yes,
years old. So it means
yes.
under 18 students doesn't mean need the guardian.
They will need, that's why. But we will, if they're 16, 17 years old, we normally have to approve their accommodation as well.
Okay,
Yeah, so that's usually it, and with the guardian or parents as well.
okay.
Mhm.
In terms of study, there is no problem, right?
Study,
I mean, there is no restrictions about if the students is or only like 16 or 17.
none. But usually they might not have the work rights yet. Just keep that in mind
Okay.
as well. Yeah. Mhm.
Work rights is in over 18, right?
Yes, because for us, I believe we don't grant the letter for the under 18 to work, because normally
Mm,
for under 18 they have to get permission of parents and approval of the institution as well.
okay.
I can see a
Can we do
question.
post-study twice, post-study visa
Um,
twice in New Zealand?
you can only do it once.
Mm,
Some students, what they like to do, if they're not confident yet the that their work is not lined up yet after their studies, then they can sometimes proceed to studying again before they avail the post-study work visa.
Ray, do you have any uh, information that after the students took the green list courses,
Mhm.
how long they can accept the post-study work visa?
It still depends on the duration of the study and the level of study. So I think that would pretty much, it will still be the same with this one. Let me show you. It will still be, let me try sharing again my
So when
screen.
the students can apply for post-study work visa, is it after graduations or before the graduation?
Oh, hold on. Let me just double check because I think they need to submit a certain requirement. Hold on. Let me double check the requirement that they need to submit for this. Because I believe they need to have finished it first, but I understand that of course there is a timeline for this. Because right now it takes about 4 weeks for the post-study work visa. Hold on. Hmm. You should apply it at least 3 months before your student visa expires.
3 months before visa expires. Okay.
At least, yes, at least 3 months before your student visa expires. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I have question in the Q&A box. Do you have any master for agriculture?
Currently, we don't have any masters for agriculture, so I think the only ones we would have, not really related, but it's like I said, it's more towards ecology, would be our newest master's degree, which is the one in masters in biodiversity.
Okay.
I think the reason why as well is because we are located in Oakland and we try to match, of course, the jobs that are there in Oakland as well. It is a more urbanized city. Yeah, it's really hard to do some agricultural related activities there as well. Yeah.
All right. Do you accept students with Australian visa refusal history?
Yeah, normally New Zealand can accept that, but of course you'll have to. They normally ask for you to declare if you have any previous rejection, then you have to justify it. But we can accept.
Oh, another one. Oh, could you share timetable details for UniTech, like how many days students need to attend and when timetable will be shared to students?
Hmm. It will depend on the program, but depends as well what stage they are on the program. But to give you a rough estimate, normally they only have to be in class about 15 to 25 hours a week, on average 20 hours per week.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it still depends on the program because especially if your student is already on their research phase or in their practicum, so they're mostly focusing more on that and they might not have to be on campus as much. And some programs like our computing programs is mostly hybrid. So most of it is also done online. So it really depends which program they will be taking. Yeah.
Ray, just curious. For the applications, how many days that students can receive the offer letter from the day they submit the application?
Also depends on the program because some of the programs like social worker, creative practice, and some of our healthcare programs require interviews. So those ones takes a bit longer because we have to it has to be reviewed by the academic team. But if the program is our usually our business or IT program, those are usually faster. Usually we are given the offers within 2 weeks, provided that the intake is already open and the student already has all of the requirements.
Mm, all right.
And also provided that the student is not under special admissions because if they don't meet the general requirements they will go to special admissions where they are assessed based on their um, work experience and that can also take a bit longer because academic staff again has to come in and review their profile first so those ones would take a bit longer but yeah but just let me know as well happy to help with the follow-ups with our admissions and academic teams.
All right. Teman-teman masih ada yang ingin tanyakan? Any question, guys? Regarding the admission process, is it possible for IBDP students, international baccalaureate students, to enroll without standardized certificate?
Mm,
What do you mean by standardized certificate?
yeah, it's normally well depends on which program they might be taking.
I think
Hold
for
on.
bachelor.
Okay, for bachelors, I might have to assess or see the application just to confirm
Do you accept
because
predicted IB, Ray?
sorry,
Do you accept predicted IB?
IB I believe we do accept, but I have to check the ones that we normally look for we just to give an idea, most of our admissions refer to ACTES or NAREC when it comes to the recognition of
Mm,
qualification. So those recognized by ACTES would usually be the ones that we normally accept as well.
all right. Do the admission request financial statement at the beginning of the application?
No, we don't.
Wow, I think a lot of questions, Ray. Going back to
Alright.
the English requirement discussion, if the student
Mhm.
is not meeting the minimum English requirement, can the students package their principal course with the onshore English course or English pathway course?
Yes, UniTech is eligible for pathway student visa offers. So we can package offers and do pathway student visas. As long as they also meet the academic requirements for the next program that they're aiming for. So we can normally package up to three programs for the students, up to three programs.
How long does pathway English course? I think it depends on the IELTS, right?
Depends on their IELTS or their scores in our internal English tests,
Yes.
which they can take for free and plus interview.
You have any course program, English course program in UniTec?
Yes, we have NZCL level 3 to level 5. If you
Mhm.
finish our English level 5, that's equivalent to IELTS 6.5 across all bands.
So the student can package the English program, depends on their IELTS result. Right?
Yes,
Uh,
that we can also do.
do you have any placement test, internal placement test for students who's not taking IELTS yet?
Yes, we also have that.
Okay.
I think I can share that with you here. So this is our free English test. unitech.ac.sz/free dash online dash English dash test. And then this is the English courses that we have and the equivalent academic programs they can enter after that program.
Does the students need to retake their IELTS after the courses?
No, if they finish it, they can already enter the programs afterwards.
But it depends on the result, right?
Um, yeah, mostly they just have to pass and complete the program.
Just pass, okay.
Yes. Mhm.
English proficiency part of the visa applications. If the student is taking internal English, how to prove that the visa applications?
When it comes to the visa application, I have to check the approval rate for Indonesia because it's different depending on the approval rate of the country. So let me just check. Where's visa approval? Because for the visa, um, if the country's approval rate is over 80%, normally you don't need to provide evidence. But if it is below 80%, you normally have to prove that you only lack zero point 0.5 band scores. Um, and hence why you are taking the English test. So let me confirm. From
So the 80%
Indonesia,
is from UniTec, right?
from Immigration New Zealand
Oh,
data.
yeah.
So actually, Indonesia currently has 98% approval rate last year for New Zealand. So you don't have to provide IELTS when you do visa. You just need to show the offer for the NZCL, and they will see that it is pathwaying to our main program. We will give you two offers, unconditional for the English, conditional for the main program, and it will note there in the condition that it's a pathway offer that if they complete that English program, then they can also enter that main program afterwards. So it's fine. And
So
given
the
that it's
visa
an
is
yeah,
continuous to from the English to the primary course, right?
yes. So
Okay.
if you do pathway student visa, I'll show you pathway student visa. It's only eligible if you have at least two offers or two programs, 2 to 3 programs. Can I type it here on the chat? I'm not sure if I can.
Yes, please.
Okay. So if you do pathway student visa, it will allow you to stay in New Zealand up to 5 years, depending on the length of your study. So you
Hmm.
can see that here. So you only need one visa. It's similar to how you usually package it as well in Australia, but not all institutions are eligible for this. Take note of that. Well, I think only universities and certain providers like us are eligible for the pathway student visa. Yeah. So it usually matches the study duration of the student. So they don't have to reapply for the visa again whenever they study another program. And I think just because I just saw the data right now on the Indonesia student visa approval rates. I think approval is quite good. Just given that last year data shows here that out of 530 that applied, only 10 were refused. So I think in terms of visa, um, Indonesian New Zealand is, I think, taking it quite positively for Indonesians just based on this data. So you can see it here. So approval rate is 98%. So really good for Indonesia. And this is for 2025.
All right. Any other question, guys? Ray, later, can you share us the PPT slides so I can share to
Yes,
the agent partners?
definitely, definitely. I'll send that to you right now.
Okay.
Yeah, this one you should be able to download.
All right. Thank you, Ray. Okay, guys, is there any question? If not, then I will end the session. And if you need more information about Study New Zealand or UniTech here, you have myself, Febri, and Farid here in the group chat as well. So you can ask all the information about Study New Zealand and UniTech. Everything you can ask from the courses, from the study arrangement, from the application until the opportunities after graduation. So Ray, thank you for this morning session. Thank you for the webinar. Thank you for the knowledge that you can share for us. So hope I can see you next time.
Thank you
Thank you,
very
Ray.
much, Febri. Thank you, Fari. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you all.
Thank you teman-teman yang udah hadir pagi ini. Terima kasih buat nanti kalau ada pertanyaan lagi tentang Study New Zealand atau UniTech, aplikasinya boleh langsung ditanyakan ke grup chat yang teman-teman sudah ada. Dan sekali lagi mau ingetin aja bahwa ini Study New Zealand. UniTech adalah salah satu provider yang punya bachelor, master, dan juga PhD program. Jadi program-programnya sangat eligible untuk hitungan poin Femtrip kita tahun depan ya. Jadi kalau ada student segera apply tahun ini untuk enroll di tahun ini, mulai dari Februari kemarin sampai Januari nanti 2027. Ada Mas Farid yang mau ditambahin?
Udah cukup?
Cukup, oke. Teman-teman semua, terima kasih buat kehadirannya pagi hari ini. Selamat melanjutkan aktivitasnya. Selamat hari Senin. Thank you.